Welcome to Pneuma Conversations, where breath becomes voice and silence finds its spiral. A place where the unseen becomes seen, a space where the silence become heard, and where the rejected are accepted. Together we breathe. Together we remember that we are all remembered, we are all loved, and we all belong. These are the conversations that remind us of what it means to be alive. Today, we're in conversation with Dr. Guylene Gigi Tree, better known as Gigi. Gigi, welcome to the conversation.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yep. It is a pleasure to have you here, and I'm so looking forward to getting to know you more. And because you were a referral from a friend that said, Chad, you absolutely have to talk to this amazing person. And I said, well, let's do it. So here we
And we're
are.
we're also Camino family, so yeah.
We're gonna get there. We are also Camino family. We are definitely gonna get there. So and but anyway, um, so Gigi, you are an author, you are a musician, you host a podcast on YouTube, and you love the Camino de Santiago. Probably, I was going to say as much as I do, but probably more than I do. But we all love it in our own ways, don't we? We all love
Mhm.
it. So, but we're going to get into all that as much as we can today. So, and by the way, I love your blue hair.
Well, and you see my little dog over there? My dog has
I
blue
see
hair
the
too.
dog. Oh, he's a
Bella,
dog.
Bella, 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 come here. Come here, Bella. Come here.
Yeah,
I'm going to
show
show
us.
you off. Come here, sweetie. Come here, sweetie. There's my
Oh,
little
there's yeah,
Bella.
I saw it.
Are you
Yeah,
ready? Up, up, up. Up, up, up.
there's the
Oh,
cutie.
boy.
Ah,
There we go. Look at that. Look at that, Bella.
beautiful, beautiful.
Okay, good girl. Thank
So,
you.
yeah, yeah, that's great. I love it. I don't know if I told you or not, but I don't edit my videos because this is life. And
I love it.
what
Okay.
you just did is was awesome. I
It's
love it.
it's me, it's what I do, you know.
It's
Aren't animals the best?
they
You
are.
know, they give us so much and they ask for nothing in
It's
return.
true.
And they're with us for such a short time. They are definitely a
Yeah,
gift to us from the divine.
that's true. It is so
Yeah.
true. Gigi, what has shaped you into the life you are living now?
Wow. I've always been a wild one.
Yeah.
And
Couldn't tell.
and I'm 72 years old.
Okay.
So I've done a lot. And of course, when you get to this age, if you haven't done a lot, then you haven't lived.
Yeah.
And my philosophy of life is if your dreams don't scare you, then you're not dreaming hard enough.
Okay.
But I've done a lot of things. I had a bizarre childhood. I moved like every 6 months, a
Okay.
year or so. So I was very accustomed. I grew up learning how to jump into a new situation and make the best of it.
Yeah.
And that kind of shaped me to to who I am. I love traveling. I love going to an unfamiliar place where I don't speak the language and just jumping in and finding out how it works, how these
Yeah.
people live, who they are, all about them. I love adventure.
Yeah. How many languages do you know?
Well, English
Maybe.
is my L1,
Yeah.
but I speak Hebrew
Okay.
and German, French, and I'm really working hard on my Spanish. It's getting better.
Okay.
I'm not fluent yet in Spanish, but I'm sure working on it.
Sure works exactly. Poco a poco, right?
Sí, sí. Yeah, man.
So you are a musician. You play the French horn. It is also my understanding that you started a foundation or some group or something. I don't have the exact terminology, uh, so forgive me. So you want to talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit?
Well, both my husband and I are musicians. We
Yep.
both play
Yep.
French horn. We're symphony musicians. We actually met in 1976 at
Okay.
Sac State in the orchestra. We were both
Oh,
musicians. We were both music majors. So we've been playing together since 1976. Yeah,
nice.
50 years.
That's when I was
Anyway,
born.
oh, okay. You're 50 years old. All right. So anyway, so I mean, it was just it's a match made in heaven,
Oh
it's
yeah.
perfect. So
Yeah.
our whole careers, our whole life has been playing French horn. And as union musicians, professional musicians, we just played whatever gigs, wherever we got hired. And we were with a few orchestras. The latest orchestra we were with, we just recently moved, by the way, from California to Arizona. We've been here
Okay.
2 years, but
Okay.
we were like 22 years with the Folsom Lake Symphony. We're actually founding members, charter
Yep. Yep.
members of that group.
Yep.
And then in the summer times, we have done a lot of traveling in Europe.
Okay.
And because I was a teacher, I had summers off, and so we sought employment in Europe with orchestras as guest soloists. And so we've played England, France, and Italy as
Beautiful.
musicians. So it was really, yeah, it's been a fun career. I've enjoyed it.
That's
Yeah.
nice. When you first met, who was first chair and who was second
Oh, he
chair?
was first chair. I was
Yeah.
second chair. And it's
Okay.
always been that way. He always played.
Okay.
He's first, I'm second. And it's been a wonderful life sharing your life partner with your best with your what you love,
Sure.
music. And our days, we do whatever we do during the days, and then in the evening at 4 o'clock, we shut off the phones, we
Okay.
close the door, we open a bottle of wine, and we
Mhm.
sit down and we practice together for 2 hours. And we'll play something, and then we'll stop and go, "So what you did today?" Oh, really? And then we play something else. And so, I mean, that 2 hours is our time
Yeah.
to visit, to be alone, and to do our music together
You do that every day.
every day,
Wow,
every
that's
day.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you always been that close, or is it something that's developed over the years and you
Well,
figured it out, or it's looked like
it was
something?
just natural. It's just
It's
something
just
that just
natural.
came natural because
Okay.
when you're a musician, in college and the university, I mean, you spend your day in a practice room. And
Yeah.
so when we got out of college and became professional musicians, we just continued that practice room in our home.
Okay. Nice. Oh, beautiful. I got my own practice room stories. So, but that's for another
Yes,
time.
that's right, because you're a trombone player.
I was a trombone player, and I've been singing all my life, and so I even sang in the local symphony chorus for a time back home.
Oh, and what
So,
what did you do? What performances?
I only did one performance with them so far.
Uh-huh.
That was a couple of years ago. It's before I moved to Spain, actually, before I did my
Oh,
first Camino. And
oh,
so I've been
okay.
traveling off and on since then too. So it's
Uh-huh.
been kind of hard to
Uh-huh.
lock me into another performance. But
Uh-huh.
we did one of the requiems in
Oh,
German.
whose?
Brahms Requiem.
Drums. Okay, yeah, those are nice. Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
beautiful, so
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
So
I enjoy when we get to bring in whole choruses into the symphonies. I mean, like, of course, the best one, the most famous one is Beethoven's Ninth, and
yes,
that's a lovely one. That's
yeah,
wonderful,
yeah. I hope I got it right. I think it was Brahms. It was one of the German ones. So
Uh-huh.
it's been a while.
You're
So
close. Yeah.
close. Someone's going to correct us in the comments. So it's all right. Well, let's talk about our favorite touch subject, Gigi. Let's talk about the Camino.
That Camino. Oh,
We
wow.
love the Camino. We love the
Mm-hmm.
Camino.
Mm-hmm.
My first question,
Mm-hmm.
what made you start walking the Camino? What drew you to it? And what year was that?
Well, I told you my husband and I spent a lot of time in the summers traveling in Europe.
Yeah.
And every time I would hear Camino, I
Yeah.
tell me, what's that?
What's that?
And I
That?
got
Yeah.
that, it just kind of, and so I would study about it and read and research and find out more about it. And then as the years went on, I told my husband, I said, I really want to do this. I really want to walk the Camino sometime. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay, So I came close to retirement. I spent, by the way, 42 years in the classroom as a music
Okay.
teacher.
Wow.
I did band and orchestra, and I loved
Nice.
it. I absolutely loved it. I'm so fortunate I had a career that I
Yeah.
loved. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I came close to retirement. And I said, Mark, I think I'm going to walk the Camino when I retire. And he goes, yeah, okay, no, fine. And so it came close, and was doing research, and I read everything, and I watched every video, and I just really just saturated my whole life with finding out about the Camino, my pack, my shoes, how to do it, where to go. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, my head was just like swollen big with
Sure.
Camino stuff. And it got close to the time, and I said, Mark, I'm really going to do this. And he goes,
Yeah.
good, sure. I said,
Sure.
Mark, do you want to come? No.
Ah,
Really?
you're gonna leave Mark and your
No,
French horn at home.
no. So he says, no, I love to travel, but I don't want to walk around with a backpack and sleep in
Mm,
hostels. Okay. And he says, but you've got my blessing. Go do it.
okay.
So, like, Thursday was my last day of students. Friday, I turned in my grades.
Yeah.
Saturday, I was in Paris.
Oh my. Oh, that's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went from Paris to Biarritz and
Yes.
then
Yep.
I started off in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. And I mean, I'm just so excited. I get off that little
Yes.
train and I see my first Camino arrow and I'm just like, I can't believe it. I'm really here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I checked into my albergue and couldn't sleep, woke up the next morning and got my pack on. I'm an early morning person. Got my
Yeah.
pack on 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm out the door. I'm on my Camino. I love it. And I start walking and I'm walking and walking. And it's misting. Well, it's not
Mm.
rain, it's not mist, it's
Yes.
mizzle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mizzle. Yeah. Like
And
that.
yeah, and so I'm walking and it's getting wet. And there's a mid stop between Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port and Roncesvalles in this
Yes.
Horizon.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
my plan was to go to Horizon and stay the night. So
Sure.
I got out there. It's what, 4 hour walk or something like that.
Yeah. Something.
And
Yeah.
I and
Yeah.
I got out there and there was no room, but it was a lovely place. And I found, okay, I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. I'll push on to Roncesvalles. Okay, now I'd been on the road now for 4 hours.
I have an
Okay.
idea of what's coming.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's 18 miles of straight up,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Oh yeah.
18,
Yes.
18. Oh, it goes down a little, but back up. And then you get to that flash peak, and then it's down, 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 and Roncesvalles. Well, by
Yes.
this time it had been raining. It was raining, and
Yeah.
that mud, it's that gray clay mud, and you just slip in it, and I'd slipped and fallen, and I had mud everywhere, and it was, yeah, I was a sight. So I finally got into Roncesvalles, and by this time it was like 6 o'clock. Okay, so
At
I had
night.
been
Yeah.
at night. I'd been
Yes.
walking from 5 in the morning. I was I was more than just tired.
I'm
So
sure.
I open up the door to the albergue. I walk in, and this dear, kind man, he says, "Oh, come here." And he takes me, he
Mm.
sits me down on a bench, and he takes off my pack, and he says, "You just sit here until you feel like it, and I'll bring you the registration papers." And I'm like, "Oh,
Mhm.
thank you." So he brought me the papers. I filled them out, and I handed him my passport and so forth. And he says, your place is ready if you'd like to go. And I go, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And so he
Were
says,
you in
I'll
the
take
you were you in the municipal? The
no,
very first place?
well, the church one, the big one.
The church. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
the
Oh,
big
nice. I'd love to
monastery
stay in
one.
that one. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, the
cool.
huge one.
The huge one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, he says, just I'll take your pack. You come with me. Normally you have to take your shoes off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't walk on. And he says, honey, you just leave your shoes on. Don't worry about it. I'll clean
Yeah.
it up. He
Yeah. Yeah.
walks me down and he gets me to my little bunk bed. And he says, if you don't mind, I'll help you get your stuff out. And I'm going, yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. And so he got my sleeping bag out and he rolled it out on my bed and he set me in a chair and he took my
Oh.
shoes off and he says, honey, this is, he showed me all around. He says, now we do have a dinner, a communal dinner, one at 7 and one at 9. And I'm like, oh. So he left, and
Yeah.
I just took my clothes off and climbed in my sleeping bag. I was
Mm,
so tired.
I'm sure.
I was beat, but you know what? I had the biggest smile on my face. It was such
Mm,
an incredible, incredible moment, incredible day. I was so tired. I was so spent, but I was so happy. And that
yeah.
hooked me on the Camino.
Oh, wow. The Camino magic.
Yep, it was. It was.
And
So I did the first one. I made it all the way to Santiago, like 38 days or something like that.
okay.
And after 2 weeks, you get into it. It's okay. It's
Yes,
just
you
that
find your
first
rhythm.
day. That first day is whoa, you've done it, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. My first
And
Camino, I got a really bad foot infection and foot injury, which is why I told you I didn't enjoy my first one. That's part of the reason I didn't enjoy them. And it
oh,
took me 6 weeks as opposed to 4 weeks. So it was bad. I don't have to go into details here, but it was bad. And
it
so
was infection from blisters.
from blisters, yes.
Oh yeah,
I had the
yeah,
wrong shoes, I had the
yeah.
wrong socks because I
Hmm.
didn't know.
Yeah.
And I had my first Camino, I had a lot of things donated to me.
Oh,
So
oh,
I just
huh.
took whatever was
Right.
donated to me. I was like, well, this is great, wonderful. So, well,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
I
I
learned.
did I did so much research before I
Okay.
before I left. And
Yeah.
I was very lucky. I mean, finding the right boots is not
Is
it's luck. It
it's
really
well, that
is.
is yes.
It's a lot of luck. And everything I had just was perfect. And I just
Yes.
really lucked out that everything was fine. So anyway, I loved it so much. I've been going back every year and
Mm,
I this will be my ninth year to go back. And I go for
nice.
3 months every year.
Okay.
And so I leave in like 6 weeks. I'm off.
Nice.
And
Nice.
and I just start walking Caminos. I land in Madrid and I have no plans between the day I land in Madrid and the day I get home, or I have to go back home.
Okay.
And I have no plans. I just walk. I walk a Camino. If things are going great, I'll walk it all the way to Santiago. If all of a sudden a big storm front comes in and it's going to rain, for 2 weeks and I can't walk, I'll take a train, go south, walk another Camino. you know?
Nice.
And
Nice.
so in my 3 months, I usually walk like 6, 8, 10 different Caminos during
Oh
that three
wow.
months. So
Huh.
I've walked over 70 Caminos.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a
Amazing.
lot. That's a lot of
Yeah.
different routes, huh?
Have you done the one from Madrid up to the
Yes. I've done
Frances?
that one 3 times. You
Yeah.
go to
Oh,
Sahagun.
yes, to Sahagun.
Uh-huh.
I hiked from Cercedilla
Uh-huh.
to Segovia
Oh
when I
yeah.
lived in Madrid. 40
Oh,
kilometers in one. Oh, that was
yeah.
amazing. And to see
Uh-huh.
the aqueducts and
Beautiful. Oh,
yeah,
that whole area is just amazing.
it is.
Yeah, that's a lovely route. That's a very lovely.
What's your favorite?
Oh, everybody asks me this, and it's like immediate. The spiritual variant.
The spiritual variant. Okay. I
Yeah.
don't know that
Okay.
one.
Now this one, it's on the coastal route of the Portuguese Camino. It begins in Pontevedra, and
Okay. Yeah.
so when you get to Pontevedra, you walk over the bridge and into the old city on the north side of the old town, and the
Mhm.
road splits, and the path to the left goes the inland coastal route,
Yes.
and the
Yes.
path to the right does the
Yep.
spiritual variant. And
Okay.
you take that one around and you go up through oh, you go through the monastery, the convent there in Poyo,
Okay.
and then on to Villanova de Arosa. And
Yep.
then
Yep.
that's where you take the boat. And the boat, it's a boat
Oh,
ride
yeah.
that you get in the morning. They usually do about 3 or 4 different boats, different times. And it's about a 2-hour boat ride. And it takes you all the way up the estuary, the Ebro estuary, all the
Okay.
way to the little town just outside of Padron. And then you
Yes.
get out of the boat and you walk, like
Oh,
another
wow.
45 minutes into Padron. And then the next day you're in Santiago. But I like this route because you're in the forest, you're along the river, you're on the
Mm,
cliffs, you're down on the ocean, you're back in the forest, you're back on the river,
okay.
you're up on the cliffs, you're down in the ocean, and it's just this beautiful terrain. It's
Yeah.
little bitty villages. It's just delightful. Delightful. And I've
Beautiful.
probably done that route over 10 times.
Yeah. Is that busy? Does it tend to be busy
Oh
with
no,
pilgrims?
no,
That's a
no.
quiet one, like the
It's a very,
Primitivo.
very quick, very quiet. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Do you prefer quiet Caminos, or do you like a mix, or what's your preference?
I'm a solitary person.
You're a solitary
I
person.
like
Okay.
I like to walk. I like to walk alone. In the
Yeah.
evenings, I like joining up with friends,
Yes.
people that I've seen, along the Camino. In the
Mhm.
evening, I can, that's my time to socialize.
That's your,
But when
yeah.
I'm walking, I like to be, just alone and meditate and just, you
Mm,
know, get into my rhythm.
I understand. Yes. I, I usually, all of my Caminos except for my last one, I've done solo. And I did it
Mm-hmm.
with a friend of mine. He and I met on the Camino years
Oh,
ago.
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And it was also his first time doing it with someone. And we're both like, I don't know if we're going to do this again.
Yeah.
There's just something about doing it solo.
Oh, there is. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, we love each other dearly, but then we
Mm-hmm.
end up, walking ahead of each other, walking behind, I'll meet up
Mm-hmm.
with you, so, but
Mm-hmm.
there's something about
Well,
walking. Mm,
I do a lot of because of my podcast,
yeah,
my videos, and also my books. I do
yeah,
a lot of like coaching or consultation, with people that are going on Caminos. And if it's a couple,
nice.
I always warn them. I say, be willing to split up in the morning and do your own thing.
Okay.
Just be aware of that. Be willing to do that because you're going to need that. You're
Yes.
going to be with this person, and it's not like being around your house where he's doing something and you're doing something else.
Yeah.
It's on the Camino, and the Camino's hard. It's not easy.
Yes.
It's hard. And
Yeah.
when you throw into the mix is, a person that you have to deal with their aches and pains too, and their struggles, then
Yeah.
it can get awkward.
Yeah. What other advice would you have for someone that's considering the Camino for the first time?
Watch my videos.
Watch your exact. We'll get to that too. Yeah, watch your. Yeah,
Yeah.
your videos are great. Oh my gosh. Yes, great
Well,
sources.
the reason that I do these videos and the reason that I write the books is because once I walked the Camino
Hmm.
and I got the blessings, the wonderful experience that the Camino gives to you, you now have responsibility in ownership of that experience,
Okay.
and you have the responsibility to maintain it and pass it along to others. And some people, they're good with working with people and maybe they can volunteer in an albergue. Other people are good at organizing events and they can work at their American Pilgrims on the Camino chapter in their local town. For
Yeah.
me, I was an educator.
Okay.
I was in the
Yeah.
classroom for 42 years.
Right.
So, writing books, producing the videos, and sharing the Camino with others is how I can give back to the Camino.
I love that. I love that. Have you ever volunteered at an albergue, or are you thinking about
Well,
doing that?
I haven't, but I have a lot of friends that own albergues. I've met them
Oh,
over the
sure,
years.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
And so whenever I'm in the area, I always, stay a day or two
Okay.
I'll help out, I'll help
Yeah,
do laundry and make beds and cook dinners, I'll help out. But yeah, no, I don't want to stay put. That's just not my forte.
yeah. Do you have a favorite albergue?
Yes, Casa Susie.
Casa Susie. Okay.
Oh
And
yeah.
which one's that
Susie,
along?
Susie and Fermin, they're in Travadello, which is about two
That's
days
right.
out
Yes,
of
yes, yes.
yeah, it's out of Pontferrand on
Yes,
the
that's
Camino
right.
Frances. Okay, about
Yep.
2 days from there. And Susie is from Australia, and
Oh,
Fermin
yeah.
is from Pamplona.
Oh, nice.
And Susie, it was her dream to open an albergue. She fell in love with
Mm.
it and walked many of them. And so she said, "Okay, I'm going to do it." And it took her about 2 years to research and find the place, and she finally found it. It was an old barn, and she worked for a year trying to restore it, and she finally opened up. And one of her first guests that came in was for me.
Oh my.
And the two of them was instant, instant.
Instant.
So
Yeah.
Fermin finished his Camino and then came back and started working with her. And this was 10 years ago. And they finally
Nice.
got married about 2 years ago. But
Wow.
but the two of them run this albergue. And what is so wonderful about it is, first of all, the two are just special, special
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And when you come in, they greet you with refreshments and cakes. And Susie has a huge garden in her backyard, and so everything she grows. So she makes this tea, lemon verbena tea, and they take you and get you your little bed. They only have 10 beds, no bunks, just 10 beds on the
Okay.
floor. And then they serve a lovely pilgrim meal
Mm,
in the evening,
wow.
and everything has been grown in Susie's garden. And the wine that they serve is from a neighbor vintner. And before the meal, they have the tradition of they go around the table and everybody says a word or two about
Mhm.
themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, Susie and Fermin both speak English, but Fermin, being born and raised in Pamplona, he speaks Spanish and also Euskera, Basque. And
Yes. Yep.
so he does a lot of the translations for everyone around the table. And then they serve the meal, and then they say blessings for everyone. And then everybody goes to bed, and Fermin stays up and he sets the table for breakfast so that you have your cups and your plates and your breads and the toaster and the coffee, and everything is set. So you can get up anytime you want, and your breakfast is there ready for you,
Oh my
so
gosh.
they don't have to get up. They live upstairs.
Nice.
And it's just the way they take care of their pilgrims is just amazing.
Yeah. I've not stayed there, but I'll make a note of that
Yeah,
to say that another time. But I've had those experiences at other places, and there are no words for them.
yeah,
No words.
no words. Yeah, they're just
Um,
magical places. It's, the
yeah.
Camino.
We also have another saying, the Camino always provides.
Yes, the Camino provides. Uh-huh.
And that's just another example, especially in your first story. You're walking all day, you weren't planning to be in rain, and you're exhausted, and you crawl into bed, but someone was there to greet you
Yeah.
and say, "I got you.
Yep.
I
Yep.
ha I will carry you right now."
Uh-huh. Yep.
And that's just there are no words to describe that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have to give back. We have to do the same for others.
We
You
do,
know.
we do, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you said you've done 70 Caminos, is that
Yes. Yes.
70 Caminos?
Seven
Okay.
zero.
So,
Yeah.
and a little birdie told me you've got one in the desert close to where you are.
Yes, I live in Surprise, Arizona, and I
Okay.
open up my front door and I have hundreds of miles of empty desert. And so I made a whole bunch of Camino markers, and I over a year, I
Mhm.
carried the bricks out one by one in my
Oh
backpack
my.
and put
Yeah.
them out, and they're all labeled, and I have Buen Camino written on some. I have in
Mhm.
Portuguese Bom Camino. I have in Hebrew, Derek Tova. I have in French, Bon Chemin.
Oh,
And
nice.
I have even one in German, Einen guten Tag.
Mhm.
And all these markers, and they mark this whole Camino. It's a 5 mile loop. And so I
Oh,
go out
wow.
and walk my Camino every morning, and then I come home and I swim.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And I invite people to come over and walk it with me.
Oh, I would love to do that with you sometime. That would be
I have a
amazing.
guest room. I
I
have a
get
guest room.
it. Great, great.
It's interesting. I have had people that have contacted me. They got to know me through my videos,
Yeah.
and they say, "I would love to come and walk your Camino with me." And I say, "Okay, the guest room's yours." And I have had people come and stay with me in the guest room just to
Oh,
walk my Camino. It's
oh, I'd love
Yeah,
it. I love it.
yeah, it's fun. It's
Gigi,
fun.
there's no doubt you love the Camino. You live and breathe it. Can I ask why? What is it about the Camino that you love so much?
Yeah. Well, my background religious wise, I'm Jewish. I'm
Okay.
I'm Orthodox. I'm Chabad Jewish.
Okay.
And we believe that at conception, the divine places a spark
Yes.
in us.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's everybody. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what religion you are. That's
Yes.
everybody. Everybody's got that
Yep.
little divine spark.
Yep.
As we grow, it's our choice if we want to make that spark grow or if we want to
Mm.
diminish it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people throughout history that have just really grown that spark. And, I can think of a few. One would be Teresa of Avila, Saint Teresa.
Yeah.
Another one would be the Rambam,
Okay.
Maimonides. Another would be Saint James. Another would be Jesus. Another would be perhaps Buddha. They're of all different religions, but they've grown this spark so big that whenever they walk, good things come off of them. And the Camino attracts people with big sparks.
Yes.
And they've walked these routes and they have left their sparks. And when you are walking those walks, you're feeling it, you're
Oh my gosh, yes.
experiencing it,
Oh yes.
and you're
Yes.
closer to the divine when you are around all of these wonderful people's spark.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I love that. I feel it right here in my heart. And
Yeah.
you know, life is a Camino. And
Mhm.
even though we're not on the said Camino at this moment, I feel that we are even there right now. And so
Yeah.
when you share what you just shared, I feel it even more deeply in my soul
Mhm.
because I feel, I feel like I'm walking with everyone that's walked prior, everyone I'm walking with now, and everyone I'm walking gonna could walk with in the future, or people I won't even may not even walk with, but I feel like we're all walking together.
Yeah. And we're all leaving our little sparks.
We're all leaving our
That's
little.
our
Yes,
contribution to this world.
exactly. Yeah. Before we get into your books and the podcast, can you share your backpacks with us that are behind you?
Oh, well, yeah, let's see. Here's my backpack. It's not full yet, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's yeah. When it's fully packed, it
Yes.
weighs 6 pounds.
6 pounds.
6 pounds.
Wow.
And that's all my stuff for 3 months, 6 pounds. And so what I do is I have, a tank top, I have a t-shirt, and I have this, a
Okay.
and then I have shorts and I have long pants.
Yeah.
And then, underwear wise, I have two bras, I have three underwear, and I have three socks. And that's it.
Yeah.
So when I get into wherever I'm going to stay that night, I take off whatever clothes I've been wearing that day and I launder them and I put on whatever else I have. Sometimes it's just my jacket and a towel. And
Okay.
everything gets laundered and then the next morning I put it all back on again. And this is my routine every
Wow.
day. So I just really have one set of clothes and I just launder it every day. And I wear
That's
it for three
amazing.
months.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you can correct, I'm about to say something and you can correct me because it's what your videos are about, teaching us and showing us secrets and ins and outs and everything. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2".
Oh, yours is going to weigh more than mine. Your shirts weigh more than
Oh
mine.
my gosh, yes.
Yeah. Same with my husband. I mean,
I wish
I,
I
I
could.
have a, I have a friend that's, the 6'2", 6'3", and his boots weigh as much as my pack.
Right. I know it. I wish I could pack the way you do.
But you don't weigh 80 pounds
I
like I
don't
do.
weigh it. That's it. That is it.
So
That's it.
6 pounds for me is like,
That's
what are you,
amazing.
like 190, 200,
Yeah.
I,
But there are shortcuts I can take, which I'm
uh-huh.
still learning.
Mm-hmm.
Still learning.
Yeah.
So I don't have to get those big heavy boots. In fact,
Right.
my next Camino that I'm planning, um, I have what they're called grounding shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I am seriously considering taking those next instead of boots.
Uh-huh. Are
And
they like a barefoot shoe?
they're like a barefoot shoe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yep. And they're supposedly they can dry very quickly.
My only concern
Tell
about
me. Yeah.
those is that, you're walking on rocks a lot.
Yeah.
And when you feel the rocks through your foot, that's going to eventually bruise your foot.
Well, no, I actually you would think that, but they don't. I have another
Ah,
friend that has a similar he has a similar shoe, but it's a boot, and
uh-huh.
he loves it. He said, "I'd rather
Good.
feel everything than not feel
Uh-huh.
it."
Ah, uh-huh.
And I've been walking long enough on those type of shoes that when I don't feel the ground underneath me,
Uh-huh.
it doesn't feel right.
Really
I even
interesting.
met someone my first Camino. She was an albergue owner. She walks barefooted.
I've met people like that.
You have,
Yeah, it's
okay.
not for me. It's not for
It's
me,
not for
but
me. Yes.
yeah, yeah. Huh?
Okay. But yeah, I'm considering wearing different shoes this time.
Good, good. I'm
Just
anxious to hear how it goes.
I
Yeah.
yes, me
Uh-huh.
too. So,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
you have written the end, it's called The End of the Earth.
The Perpetual Pilgrim,
In the
the end of the
perpetual
earth.
beautiful. Can you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that, which also led to a podcast?
That's right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, my YouTube videos.
Yes.
Well, the end of the earth, of course, it's Vistara or Finisterre,
Hmm.
whichever, if you want to use the Galician term or
Yes.
the Spanish
Yep.
term.
Yep.
But it's in medieval days, it's the furthest west point of the Iberian Peninsula,
Yes.
Vistara. And so that
Yep.
translates to the Finnish earth or the finish of the terra. And that's in medieval days, the people thought that if you went off of the land and out the ocean, that was it. You're going to fall off. There's no
Yeah.
more. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's why they call it the end of the earth. So that's traditional, the place where you end your Camino. You get to Santiago and then you finish up going to Fisterra or Muxia, which is,
Mhm.
another so that's how I named my book, is The End of the Earth, the Perpetual Pilgrim. And of course, I'm the Perpetual Pilgrim. So as I'm walking, I meet so many people and everybody has a story.
Mhm.
Everyone
Yes.
has a wonderful
Yeah.
story. And I love their stories. And so when I find someone that has this unique story, I stay in touch with them. And then
Mhm.
after I get back home, we'll do some videos, some Zoom meetings, and I'll get more background, and then I'll write out the story and then send it back and forth to them a few times for edits and corrections. And then those are the stories that go in my books. So my
Wow.
books are a series of stories about people and why they're
Mm.
walking the Camino, how they got there, what they're doing. And let me give you a quick example
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
one of my favorite ones that came out like 2 books ago. It was a man and wife that I met on a boat on the Camino Norte, going across on the boat to Santander.
Yeah.
And
Yep. I've been on that boat.
I got to talking to them, and they had an incredible story. These two people 50 years ago, they were children, or 70 years ago, they were children and neighbors, and they grew up. There were four of them, a brother, sister, another young man, and another young lady. They grew up, they ended up marrying. The brother and sister married the other two. And so now it was a couple of four. And then they had family and kids and so forth. Anyway, so the four of them decided, wouldn't it be nice now that our kids are grown to go and walk a Camino? And so the four of them did that, and it was wonderful. Well, then they got older, and two of the spouses died, and they were
Mhm.
left with the brother and the wife of the other one. So,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
so these two people, they had been with each other through the death of their spouse, and the hardships and so
Yeah.
forth. And the two we're kind of getting, they were starting to see a connection between the two of
Okay.
them. And
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
said, this might sound crazy, but let's walk a Camino and see if this is going to work out. And so
Wow.
they went and walked a Camino, and I met them in Santander, and I stayed in touch with them. And a
Nice.
month later, they got married.
Oh, wow.
Isn't
Yeah.
that a lovely
That's
story?
a wonderful story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard many stories similar to that where people end up getting married because of the Camino. They
Uh-huh.
had and what was interesting too is that even if they didn't know each other, there were still connections in their lives that brought them together on the Camino, which is
Right.
phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
those are great
So those
stories.
are the stories that are in my books. Now, this last book, I'm gonna
Yeah,
actually get a
yeah.
copy of it and
Go ahead.
show. Whoops. Oh no, it's not. Can you hold on a minute? Let me
I
go
can
run
hold
get one.
on.
Okay, hang
We can
on. I'm
hold
gonna go
on.
run. Uh-oh.
We're gonna we're gonna hold on here. Hold tight for Gigi. Um, so just bear with us for 1 second. Hopefully she won't be too long, and then I'll hit pause if I have to. Um, here she comes. Here she comes.
Okay, this is
Yes.
my latest book, and I love this book, and I want to show it because
Yeah.
this is a
Stories for the children.
storybook for children. This
Oh,
is my latest creation because our children, we forget about them. We leave
yes.
them out of this equation, but they are the inheritors of the Camino,
Well, and children
of
walk the
our
Camino.
world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, uh-huh. But we need to educate them
Yes.
in how to take over our world when we're
Sure.
gone. And
Sure.
this is
Sure.
one way. So this book, it's stories for children about the Camino. And basically, good friend of mine, Steve Walter, he's also a Camino book author. He does illustrations. He did all the pictures. He drew all these pictures.
Oh, nice.
And so every story at the end, we have vocabulary. So the parent or grandparent that's reading the story, they can start off by showing the vocabulary to the children. And then as they read the story, the children will, oh, I know that word. Okay, so every story, vocabulary for this story,
Nice.
every story has, a learning lesson in it. The giant storks of Spain.
Oh,
Um,
I love it.
let's see, here's one. The magical eucalyptus trees, the famous eucalyptus
Yes.
trees, and,
Yep.
and the oranges, the cathedral in Santiago. And then I end
Mhm.
up at the very end. Oh, the wonderful oranges of Spain. And the very last chapter is it's a scallop shell coloring activity. So
Oh,
it's the
beautiful.
history of the scallop shell. And then on the last page, the children can color in their own scallop shell.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
Isn't that fun?
I love it.
Ah.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's great. Beautiful. Have you interviewed any families in your books?
Um, yeah, I have actually in I think book five and book three. I've interviewed families that are traveling together. One family had like a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 8-year-old, and I
Okay.
did a whole story on them and how they managed to walk the Camino with these three little ones.
Yeah.
And another one was a woman who she had a 1-year-old in a stroller and then a 5-year-old walking.
Mhm.
And then another one was Emmett. Emmett had was what 5 years old and he was walking with his mother and his grandmother. So
Yeah.
there's three generations that were walking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm sure like I have, you've also, we're going to get to your podcast in just a second, I promise. Um, I'm sure like I have, you've walked with people or met people along the way, that have difficulty walking, and
hmm
yet they're still
hmm
walking.
hmm
My very first Camino, I met a gentleman, his feet faced each other like this, and he'd have to walk like this.
Oh,
And it was so
mm,
painful. But then I saw him in Santiago, and I'm like, I had a lot of difficulty too, but you're still here at the same time I am. And
yeah.
he's not and then I've also seen people where they've
Yeah.
made makeshift
You push
wheelchairs
you push me, yeah.
and they're
Uh-huh.
pushing. I've seen friends on
Yeah.
friends' backs. I mean,
Yep.
what do you think is really going on there, Gigi? What magic
Well,
is happening there?
yeah,
What do you think's going on?
it's just amazing. It's an amazing experience that pushes you beyond your limits.
Yeah,
You're able to do things that you never thought you could do.
yeah. I I have a friend, he's about your age, and he has MS, and we often joke about taking him with me on my
Oh,
back and
uh-huh,
carrying
yeah.
him, on the
Mhm.
trail. But you just it's just things you got to do,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So let's talk about your podcast. Are you
Uh,
familiar with Rick Steves?
oh, of course. Yes,
When I
absolutely.
watch your podcast, I get a Rick Steves vibe.
Oh my, okay.
I love it. And so if anyone doesn't know, that's I'm giving you a compliment, by the way. Uh,
Thank you.
you just the way you go through every single process, that things that I didn't think of as a first time person. Even now, I'm thinking about my seventh Camino, you mentioned things that I've never even thought of. Take us through, how did that evolve? How did that come about? Why do you love doing it? Whatever you want to say about it, the podcast.
Well, I once again I was a teacher,
Of
an
course.
educator. And so all of my videos, I just thought this is another medium for me to explore.
Yeah.
And I go back and look at my first one. It's like, oh my goodness, wow, that was pretty, elementary. But I've learned the techniques and how to do the editing, the video, the
Hmm.
filming,
Yeah.
and the script writing. In fact, I actually did one video on how I produce them. I invite
Oh,
people
okay.
into my home to see, where it all happens, where the
Nice.
magic happens.
Nice.
And it's all topics that I wish I had known before I started walking the Caminos. It's how to pack,
Mm.
how to measure
Yes.
your back to see what size pack you need, how to find shoes that fit you. Where do you find water on the Camino? What do
Yeah.
you do if you get lost and you can't find the arrows?
That
Yeah.
happens a lot. We've heard
Um,
those stories. We've heard those
what
stories.
happens?
Yep.
What happens if you can't manage that trail?
Yeah.
It's too rocky, it's too steep. If you try to do that, you're going to hurt yourself. My
Yeah.
advice is don't.
That's
Find an
simple.
alternative route. You don't have
Right.
to go that way.
That's right.
Um, People with because I'm Jewish and I keep kosher, obviously I have to make accommodations for my dietary needs.
Okay.
So I've done a lot of videos on that, and they're
Yeah.
applicable for people who are vegan and vegetarian.
Yes. Yep.
So I've done quite a few videos on that, how you can keep your dietary needs satisfied, but still enjoy the
Yeah.
products of the land.
Yeah.
And things like cooking in a hotel room,
Hmm.
how do you use that teapot to your best
Yeah.
advantage? You boil your eggs in your teapot.
Yeah. 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 That was great. Yeah.
And they're all, oh, and I do some first aid ones. What do you do if you get injured? How do you take care of
Mhm.
yourself? Um, yeah, and then I've done a lot of videos on like the famous bridges on
Oh,
various
yeah.
caminos, because
Yeah.
they all have a historical significance. And then famous cathedrals or the not so famous churches that you should go see.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
done one on the synagogues and the Jewish historical sites throughout the Iberian Peninsula.
Mm.
I did a whole thing on the Rambam from Cordova.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have 70 some, I think five or six or whatever.
Okay.
And the one I'm working on right now, which should be out tomorrow maybe,
Nice.
is why the Camino should be on your bucket list.
Dude, that's a good one. I love that. That's great. That's
Yeah.
I I'm gonna have your all your info in the show notes for
Oh,
people,
okay, good.
so,
Thank you. Yeah.
they will get to your
And then at
your
the very
podcast.
end of
Yeah.
all my videos, this is
Yeah.
my favorite part
Yes.
because
Yes.
my
Tell us.
husband and I are
Yep.
musicians.
Yep. Yep.
I do a lot of thinking about, okay, what music is going to fit with this theme? And I
Yes.
go and I research and I arrange a piece of music for either four, six, or eight French horns. I write
Okay.
out the music,
Okay.
we rehearse it, and then when we're ready, we record it. And because it's four, six, or eight parts, we have to do one part at a time. So we'll start with my husband doing part one. So we'll record him,
Mhm.
and then then it's my turn on part two, and I
Okay.
listen in my ear for what he did and I play along with that. And then he comes in for part three, and now he's listening to part one and two and plays part three, and we just ping pong it all the way down until we get
Wow.
all the parts. And we're videoing it, and so then in my computer I put it all together, and so there's music at the very end that has something to do with whatever the video
Yes.
is about, the topic of the video.
I love that. Yeah.
Like for example, one
Yeah.
one I did was shopping in grocery stores. How do you
Yeah.
navigate the Spanish grocery stores?
Yeah.
And at
Yeah.
the end, I did the Pink Panther, Pink Panther theme.
Okay. Yes. That was good. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Then yeah, so yeah. So the music always has something to do with whatever the topic is. I did one on the organs, famous organs on the cathedral.
Yes, I love that
And the
one.
music
Yep.
for that one was um oh, it was Handel. Yeah. No, it was,
Okay.
I'm sorry, it was Vivaldi. Yeah, it was a
Vivaldi,
Vivaldi.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
One of his canons. Yeah.
yeah. Nice.
So with
So
organ
how
music, I
long,
put it.
yeah, how long does it take you? I mean, it's only about 20 minutes, but how long does it take for you to put together a 20-minute episode? That's a lot.
It's about for the video part, it's
Yeah.
about 80 hours for a 15-minute video. Yeah.
Wow.
And then for the music, well, first of all, I have to write the music.
Yes.
Then we have to rehearse it.
Yeah.
And then we record it. So that's, another what, 40, 50, 60 hours, So it's, yeah, it's a lot. Takes a lot of work. I put out about one video every 2 weeks, and they're
Okay.
they're 20 to 30-minute videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Incredible.
It's a lot of work, but it's enjoyable.
Is
It's
of course
enjoyable.
you love it. You
I
love
love it.
you love
I
it. You can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. This is why I work so hard, so I can retire and do this kind of stuff.
That's exactly it.
Retirement is everything that it was cracked up to be.
Great. What do you think your favorite episode is that you've done? Do you have a favorite?
Oh, they're all my favorite. They're all
There are,
my
okay.
children.
There are
Yeah,
exactly.
I can't think of any. I mean, I just love them all, I
Yeah.
put so much work into them. I don't know that I really have a favorite.
Yeah.
The one that I'm going to work that after this last one, which is, why the Camino should be on your bucket list. The next one I'm working on is on the Camino Teresiano. Are you familiar with that one?
No, I'm
It
not.
starts in Avila and it ends in Alba de Torma. And it's the route that
Oh,
Sister Teresa, Saint Teresa of
okay.
Avila, it's the route that she walked and started all of those convents. And of course, she was the founder of the Carmelite. Um,
Okay.
uh,
I've seen it on the map, but I
yeah,
didn't know what it was.
it's a
Okay.
beautiful one. So anyway, so I'm working on that one. It's just going to
Nice.
be a video specific for the Camino Teresiano. And the music I'm using for this one
Yeah.
is I've arranged Duke Ellington's Sophisticated Lady.
Oh, nice. Very cool. I
I
look
hope
forward to
people
that
will
one.
enjoy it. But she was an amazing woman
She
for her
was.
time. Oh my goodness. And this route, it's marvelous. It's so what you do is you start in Avila
Hmm.
and you get your pilgrim passport and
Okay.
you go to each of the churches that she started along this route. Of course, she walked it all barefoot. The
Yeah.
Carmelite nuns
Sure.
are, they're the barefoot ones anyway. And you go to each church, and at each church, at each stop, you learn more about this woman, her writings, her teachings, what she did,
Mhm.
all these churches that she founded along the route. You go to the next one. It's like a 5 or 6 day walk, but it's
Okay.
beautiful and you learn so much. And by the time you get to Alba de Torma, the place where she died, you know so much about this
Mm,
incredible woman. You feel like you lived with her, you
sure.
learned with her, you studied with her. And so it's an amazing route to walk.
Yeah.
And they call it from the cradle to the grave because she was born in
Okay.
Avila and she died in Alba de Torma.
Wow. Wow. I look forward to that one.
Yeah, it's a good
That'll be a
one.
nice
And
episode.
then it's another like, I don't know, maybe like 6, 7, 8 miles to Salamanca. So that's where you finish up.
Got it. Okay. You have a video on budgeting,
I
which is
do.
excellent. And but
Yeah.
you plan for 3 months at a time. So how do you budget? Do you make room for splurging? Or you keep it all tight? What do you
I don't spend any more on my Camino than I do when I'm here at home.
really? That's
Yeah.
great. That's amazing. And that's the
Now
secret.
when I get to places that have a parador,
Yeah.
I'll stay at the parador.
You'll
I
stay at the
love those
Parador.
places.
Yeah.
But otherwise I stay in, albergues and I cook most of my meals, I don't go out to restaurants because I can't keep kosher.
Oh,
So,
sure, sure.
food is one of your largest expenses on the Camino.
Yes, it is. It can
And
be. Yeah.
so I do all my own food, and so it's not any more expensive than here at home.
Sure, sure. It's true. Yep. And Spain is so cheap.
It is.
E
It is.
even since all the stuff that's been going on economically the last several
Yeah.
years, it is
Uh-huh.
still very
Yeah.
cheap.
One of the things, I mean, when I get into town and I go to the grocery store, the first thing I do is get a whole bottle of wine.
Yeah, that's right.
A whole bottle of wine. It's €4 or €5, four or
I
five
know.
dollars, and it's
I know.
good wine.
It
I
is.
might drink one or two glasses out of that bottle, and I'll share the rest with others, or I'll leave it for the
Yeah.
hostelier, the person that runs the albergue. But $4 or $5, heck, I
I
don't
know
need to
it.
drink the whole thing.
I, I'm not a wine drinker, but I'm on the Camino. I'll drink wine occasionally because it's so
Oh
cheap.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Mhm.
you are getting an award.
Oh
Or at the
yeah.
time of this recording, you're getting an award very, very soon. Can you talk about that?
There is the Arch Confraternity Jacobean,
Yep.
and it's organized out of Rome, and the official Spanish um, designee lives in Porto,
Okay.
and he, is anointed or whatever, conferred by the Pope, and then he searches out people that are deserving of this award. And last year, when I was in Porto, he said, Gigi, can you please just meet me for coffee somewhere? And I said, sure. And his name is Jean Pierre.
Hmm.
And so I met him, and he said, I'd like to nominate you for this award. And I'm like, what? Because I had
Wow.
heard about it. I know
Yeah,
people that
yeah.
have gotten it. I mean, people that are really important, people that are so deserving of this award. And I was like, me? Really? Wow. So he did the paperwork, and it came through. And so they'll be presenting the award to me on May 23rd in the cathedral in Santiago.
Wow.
And it's a whole special ceremony. I think there are 8 of us that are getting this award,
Okay.
and they do this whole ceremony, and they coach you in what you have to do. And when they give you the award, you lean forward, and they put this ribbon and this medal, around you, and they say
Wow.
they say the blessing, and then they swing the botafamiero.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Yep.
So
What's the name of
yeah,
the award again?
it's the Arch Confraternity Jacobean.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful award.
Yeah.
Well, Gigi, you,
And
in my opinion, are deserving of it
oh, thank
with
you.
all that you do for the Camino community and with your zest for life. I mean, yeah, if I could be there, I would love to be there, but we'll
Oh, it
see
would be
what
so fun.
happens. But wow, what an honor. What an
Yeah,
honor.
it is. It is.
And what you do for the Camino community, I'm deeply touched. And thank
Mhm.
you so much for what you do for all of us. And you're one of the many people or the
Thank you for
reasons.
letting me share.
Of course, of course. So you're one of the many people or the reasons why that we are able to keep continuing to walk the Camino.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all doing it together. We're
Yep.
all breathing it together, to use some of my
Yes, we are.
language.
Yes,
And
we are.
so, is there anything else that you'd like to share that we haven't gotten to yet?
I would just like to say to everyone out there,
Yeah.
if you have the desire to walk a Camino and you don't know how to do it, come talk to me.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
And buen Camino.
Buen Camino. We don't have to get into it, but there's a possibility you and I might be doing a Camino together next year.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yep,
possible.
I'm
So
working on it. Yeah,
we're working on it. So,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah. Oh, Gigi, this has been beautiful. This has been
It's
beautiful.
fun.
With
I love
where,
sharing.
yes, with where you are in life right now, what are you learning?
Um, I think it's just a continual, just always do your best. Always do your best. That's all you can do. Just
Yeah,
always do your best.
yeah, yeah. So true. I like to you've seen a couple of my episodes and I like to end the episode with the breath and a little quiet meditation. Would you join us in
Sure.
that with the audience for a moment? And then
Hmm.
I'll let us know when we're finished.
Thank
So
you.
we are grateful for this time. We're grateful that we got to breathe with our sister Gigi. And as we open our eyes, we remember that we are all remembered. We are all loved, and we all belong. Gigi, this has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing in the breath. Together, we've remembered a little more of what it means to be human. Until next time, breathe.